Do you enjoy the idea of taking your favorite characters from comic books, anime, games, manga, and bringing them together, joining them in harmony to create something beautiful and interesting in a gaming situation? Well, if you do, then you've come to the right place, my friend. Welcome to The Cross Zone. Hello, all you wonderful people out there, and welcome to the Cross Zone episode number 9, Marvel vs. DC. Now, this is something I had thought about really long time ago. Back actually when X-Men vs. Street Fighter hit the arcades, and I saw it back then. I actually had the thought. I was like, why didn't they just do Marvel superheroes versus DC superheroes? That would have. And this is when I was like really little that happened. I was like, why didn't they do that? But it's something that still hasn't happened yet, and I would love to see it happen as a fighting game. Now, the game's play style would be Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but the art style would be more like Marvel vs. Capcom 3. I mean, the mechanics of Marvel vs. Capcom 3 I don't like them. So, now, I'm obviously using characters from Marvel Comics and DC Comics universes, respectively. This would be a fighting game in which 2 teams of 3 must face off against each other to see who would be the ultimate winner. There are 8 directions to be used in this 2D styled fighter. Obviously, up to jump, down to crouch, and you know the other directions to go back and forth and jump forward and jump back. You understand what they're for. I don't need to explain that too much more. The buttons are light punch, light kick, hard punch, hard kick, assist 1, assist 2, tag 1, and tag 2. There would be a 5-level super meter for this game as far as like doing special attacks and special attacks and normal attacks would fill this meter, and super attacks would drain this meter. Super attacks would cost 1 level of super meter, and the assist 1 and assist 2 buttons call out your partner to do an assist move with various effects. Could be from your partner running out and attacking your opponent, or a partner coming out and giving you a boost in status, adding to your health, any number of things, just depending on what those characters do. The tag 1 and tag 2 buttons will allow you to swap to your other characters to be used in the fight, as long as they're not knocked out. A special directional combination and either tag button will call both partners out to perform a super attack together, and your character will be swapped depending on what partner button you use. Alternatively, if you press both the assist buttons before the attack is over, then you will keep your character who is already in play. The only situations in which you would not get all 3 partners would be if you only had 2 levels to your super meter, or one of your partners was knocked out. Otherwise, all 3 characters would jump out on the screen, and this would use 2 to 3 levels of the super meter. The character choices, I know not everybody's going to agree with my choices for characters, but the characters that I chose for this idea of a game are as follows. For Marvel Comics, I have the Incredible Hulk, Spider-Man, Wolverine, Cyclops, Gambit, Rogue, Gladiator, Blade, Doctor Doom, Ghost Rider, Cable, Emma Frost, Deadpool, Venom, Carnage, the Rhino, Juggernaut, Colossus, Bishop, Phoenix, X-23, Random, Black Panther, Spider-Girl, Storm, Daredevil, Silver Samurai, Nightcrawler, Captain America, Hawkeye, Polaris, Quicksilver, Magneto, Exodus, Omega Red, Sabretooth, Scarlet Witch, Black Cat, Black Widow, and Doctor Strange. For the DC Comics side of things, I have Superman, Batman, Captain Marvel, Wonder Woman, Sinestro, Aquaman, Beast Boy, Robin or Nightwing, depending on. I mean, it would still be Dick Grayson as far as I'm concerned, but just either one. I guess you could just say it's a costume swap, but it'd be the same character. Raven, Starfire, Cyborg, Terra, Deathstroke, Martian Manhunter, Batgirl, Supergirl, Hawkgirl, Strange Visitor, Mixia Spitlick, Brainiac, Superboy, Green Arrow, Lobo, Orion, Tachyon, Booster Gold, Metron, Static Shock, Batman, Catwoman, Blue Beetle, and Dr. Fate. Now, I know that this is a huge list. And like, I actually cut back some of the characters I had in mind originally because it was quite big of a list. The only things I hadn't really thought about would be like the final boss type character and the reason for these universes to be colliding in such a way. I would really prefer that whomever draws these worlds together be a brand new entity for this occasion. I mean, it would need to be something that's really interesting, and maybe just like there could be like some sort of struggle between the source of the DC universe and death of the Marvel universe. That'd actually be an interesting thing to deal with, but I don't know exactly if that would be the best scenario. So it's just like the first thing I thought up off the top of my head. It's like I really honestly just wasn't interested in thinking about a story for this because I just want to see these characters together and they battle each other and stuff like that. But like I said, I really just don't like the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 playstyle, and I'll explain why that is. The Marvel vs. Capcom 2 playstyle 1 allows for more buttons. It has more buttons for attacking, which allows the characters to have more attacks and be able to do more things, and there are more combinations that they can perform. There's also the way the mechanics worked in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 weren't exactly the best. As you could knock an opponent to the air, do a combo on them, bounce them down to the floor, and knock them back up into the air, do another combo on them, bounce them back down, and knock them back up in the air. And you could repeat that cycle and basically go unchecked as long as you knew what the heck you were doing, and your opponent pretty much could not get out of that. They'd be stuck. But then there are characters who could float to the top of the screen and fly for a long period of time and just rain down projectiles on you and really go again unchecked because your characters couldn't jump high enough to reach them. And even if you could jump high enough to reach them, they literally control that space. So you're screwed until they gradually descend down, and that took a while. So I would hold characters that could fly to maybe like 15 seconds while being airborne, because honestly that's just no. That was annoying as hell in Marvel vs. Capcom 3 when that happened, and it made me not want to play the game again. And I'm like, I love fighting games, but for that level of brokenness, I was like, no, I can't do it. So yeah. So I would like for people to be punished for trying to use that type of stuff. So cut them down to 15 seconds, and when that flight ability goes out, they descend like a brick to the ground. So that gives the other groundbound characters a chance to retaliate. Another thing I would really like for this game, for there to be local versus. Like local versus, that's like a dying art. Local play with other people is like a dying art for some reason. I'd also love for this game to have like 3 versus 3 online match, so like you could have 6 people playing, 3 on one team and 3 on another, as well as the traditional 1 person versus 1 person playing with a team of 3 characters and another team of 3 characters. And it will also be great for this game to allow you to save replays of your matches, and then when you watch them, it could give you like a play-by-play of what you did right and wrong during your match. Like, just use like colors to highlight times where you attacked well or you missed an opportunity to get an attack in. I mean, I know something like that would be like really super complicated and it would take a lot of time and work to get done, but I believe it's possible to do it. I really do believe that is completely possible to do it. So yeah, it would definitely, it would be cool because then you could use that information to play better. Like, if you paid attention to it anyway, but like not everybody would. So it would be for the select few who actually take the time to watch their replays, and the game would help them by highlighting these certain moments where they had a chance that they could have attacked, that they maybe missed one, or where they could have avoided an attack or blocked an attack, like just that type of stuff. I wouldn't want there to be any sort of DLC for this game whatsoever. Like, all of the characters that would be in the game would be in the game. But I'd say like 30 would be available from start, so like 15 from each side, and then you have to play the game and earn points to unlock the rest of them. Very much like Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And another thing would be that costumes would not be a paid thing. They would also be earned through gaining points to play. So like all these characters that I've mentioned that have various other costumes that they could put on, there you go, all of it in the game, and you just have to work to get it. No outside charging or anything. I'd also not want the game to be tied to being online. You should be able to play it without your stuff connected to the internet. The single player mode type shouldn't require any online connection at all. There should also be an arcade mode, like a survivor mode. Obviously, I said local versus, a gallery mode to view character bios, concept artwork, and as well as listen to each character's theme song. Options mode, obviously, to allow you to change controls, difficulty settings, HUD settings, screen brightness, and the like. You really didn't need me to tell you guys that. You would have expected it anyway, but we're dealing now with times where things that should be kind of obvious in a game don't exactly end up in those games. So I just gotta put it out there. I honestly probably wouldn't want Capcom to work on this. Like, I think about maybe Arc System Works being better for it, or probably Atlas. Kind of lost a bit of faith in Capcom. So, but I think, though, I'm going to be wrapping this up. I would really just like to see Marvel vs. DC fighting game on a huge scale come out, and it really suits all of the characters for their universes. Plus, it would be a fun and interesting game to play if it's done right. Yeah, keyword fun. Fun. And it could lead to a series that would be highly successful if, again, it was done the right way, with more characters and like even bigger fights. And that's something I would thoroughly enjoy. And if this game did end up with a fight controller, I personally would like it to be like the Sega Saturn controllers, like not the thicker ones, but you know, like the thinner 6-button controller. Well, they had more than 6 buttons, but they had the 6 face buttons and the two shoulder buttons, and that D-pad was just like perfect for fighting games because you had so much precision with it. And like nobody makes controllers like that anymore. And I'm like, why not? Obviously, a fight stick would be a good idea too, but I mean, I want that controller to come back because that was like perfect for fighting games. But that's really it. One other thing I want you guys to know: the Cross Zone will be skipping March, and the next episode will be in April. Because I'm trying to give myself a little bit more time to get multiple episodes done, so maybe that way I could put them out more consistently. And as of late, I've kind of like had to rush things together because there's just the way life has been happening for me, and planning hasn't worked out the way I wanted it to. So maybe if I give myself a little bit more time, I can get like 1, 2, maybe 3 episodes done, and then they can release. They'll still be releasing monthly in that manner, but it would give me more time to get stuff together and have all my resources ready. But actually, this episode wasn't even going to be about Marvel vs. DC. I actually changed it at the last minute. I changed it like 2 days ago because the idea I had, I wanted to work more on, and I really want that one to be like really, really good. And I already had like all the stuff for this episode pretty much together, outside of maybe a few things that I had to really like think about for a moment. But yeah, that's really it. I wanted to let you guys know that it's just trying to be courteous to people that do check out these videos that view my channel. So that being said, thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me in the future, and until the next time, enjoy your games. Peace out. I would like to apologize because I realized that there were several characters from DC Comics that I missed in naming during this episode. So I'm just going to read those names off real quick. The Flash, Green Lantern, Lex Luthor, Killer Moth, Darkseid, the Red Tornado, the Riddler, the Joker, and Martian Manhunter. And from the Marvel side, I missed Thanos. And the 9 characters I completely missed, and I forgot to write that in my list somehow. That I just wanted to make sure I said that. But thank you guys, and see you.